involved in crime? I am Najmy Aulia. For 5 minutes I will accompany you with a special report. The criminal action behind the student mess. Intern by crime, while crime. Faces of a number of teenagers who are still students in the capital suddenly turned into frightening fears. Their group is more like a delinquent confoi because they carried out attacks in 3 locations overnight.
A patrol car drove out of the Cengkareng Police Headquarters in West Jakarta. We were following from behind and received assurance that the police would carry out a case where the incident occurred which had alarmed the citizens of the capital. A young man aged 22 years appeared at the scene of the crime under guard strict police apparatus. He was the one who commanded dozens of young teenagers to attack anyone they met. Baru Bridge was one of their locations for action. 2 other locations, namely Peternakan Street and the West Jakarta Taman Palem area. In early January 2020, 6 victims fell in one night as a result of the perpetrator. After gathering the 2 motorcycle gangs, they immediately launched their action, namely on the Baru Bridge in the West Jakarta area. And indeed, 5 of the victims, 2 of them have returned home, but 3 people are still being treated at the hospital. And indeed, they are targeting victims who use motorized vehicles. The police acted quickly to arrest 14 assailants, those aged 14 to 17 years, and some of them were students. Only one person aged 22 years who acted as leading the gang. 15 perpetrators who had not yet reached adulthood were included in wanted list or DPO.
At the time, the perpetrators of this motorcycle gang from the Peternakan road were looking for targets and confiscating for targets and police on the Baru Bridge Road, meeting the victim who had been riding along the coincidence that the victim went home after a walk. Suddenly he was immediately surrounded and attacked using a shotgun and 2 injured victim. Here the victim is crying to a bag and one of perpetrators takes the item.
In police records, criminal gangs among teenagers raised 2 motorcycle gang flags, namely the Slow Gang and the 21 Gang. But their action could not be categorized as recognizing teenagers. That's why not few doubt the statement of the suspect who claimed to have acted this time. The police tracked the suspect in Article 365 of the Criminal Code concerning theft and waiting with a penalty of 9 years imprisonment. Investigators also charged the perpetrator with Article 117 of the Criminal Code concerning maltreatment with the threat of being jailed for 55 years in prison. From Jakarta, Sherrina report.
The act of 2 groups of slow gang and 21 motorcycle gangs make West Jakarta residents nervous. This is the tradition of the bars before the motorbike gangs take action. namely the drinking party in Peternakan Kapuk area of Cengkareng, West Jakarta, and then follow the road looking for victims.
Motorcycle gang headquarters are right in front of elementary and junior high school on the West Jakarta Taniwan Highway. Along the school wall, there are graffiti marking the existence of a group of delinquent teenagers, Taniwan motorcycle gangs, referring to the name of the alley in this area. At the night, the location of the school turned creepy for anyone who passes by. Especially motorcycle gangs always hold a party of alcohol before walking down the street looking for a victim. Not longer after, the suspects are also seen at the gathering place. They are undergoing pre-reconstruction to find out the chronology of the perpetrator in action. From in front of the school together, busy riding a motorbike along the highway to injure anyone he met. The perpetrators had argued that the victim was mistakenly targeted as an enemy, but they did not move when it was mentioned that there were 3 locations of the attack with 6 injured victims, and the lost victims' items, and the violent faces of the victim perpetrators suddenly wilted when they underwent an examination at the Cengkareng Police Headquarters in West Jakarta regarding the habit of drinking alcohol before the perpetrator takes action. The leader of this delinquent teenager admits that he does not drink alcohol. Regardless of alcohol, the perpetrator's sadistic behavior no longer reflects the figure of the teenager who is still a student.
Initially, these groups were just hanging out or a group of several people, so they get together to do some criminal activity that worryingly disturbing the community. One of them the slogan. Why the slogan? So he names it as if it's so bad it damns out to inhabited by various people that are also named where he lives, so to find out in that there is a group that exists to commit a crime. So this is generally shared by seniors. This is one of the leaders, initial AM, RAN.
How old do you think you are in this game?
As 16 and until 21, and already have a family and her children too.
Thank you. From Jakarta, Sherrina Turnback Crime Report.
That's all from me. To get more news, please visit us at www.breakingnews.com. I am and all the crew say, have on a full day. Bye!